The NBA is a popular destination for European ball players, and while all aim to be the next Dirk Nowitzki or Pau Gasol, many times that isn't the case, and the Euro player struggles to find their roles in the league. So in this video, we'll take a look at the worst European NBA players of all time. Number 10. Darko Milicic. Darko Milicic is one player who became well known early in his career, only to prove disappointing as time wore on. His rookie year was actually notable. He became the youngest player ever to appear in an NBA Finals, as well as the youngest player to win an NBA title. He did both while playing for the 2004 Detroit Pistons squad, which beat a star-stacked Los Angeles Lakers team in 5 games. Though he didn't score a single point in that series, all things considered, he did set 2 records. Milicic blamed his lack of development during his time with the Pistons and lack of playing time. In 2006, Darko got traded to the Orlando Magic, where his performances improved marginally. In his first 20 games for the team, he averaged 2.4 blocks a game. In the 2007 playoffs, he averaged 12.3 points per game on 58.8% shooting. During the 2007 offseason, however, Milicic became an unrestricted free agent. He would sign with the Memphis Grizzlies, where he'd experience his personal low point. After playing for a few more teams in the league, Milicic retired in 2013. He averaged 6 points and 4.2 rebounds a game. Being selected 2nd overall in a draft class that included the likes of Carmelo Anthony, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh was certainly not a great moment in the draft history of the Pistons. Number 9. RASHO NESTEROVIC. RASHO NESTEROVIC is yet another example of a player from Europe whose only notable achievement is that he won a ring. His career scoring average is unimpressive at only 6.8 points per game. But I don't think it's right to label this player as a scrub, because for one, his career blocks average is actually respectable at 1.2 per game. But still, being a 7-foot center and career averaging 5.1 boards per game while also averaging 22 minutes of playing time is just inexcusable. Now, I don't like slamming Nesterovic too much because I actually feel that he's one of the best players in this specific list. It's just that I think he simply didn't perform as well as he should, given that he played a lot better in Europe. His NBA career started in 1998 after he was drafted by the Minnesota Timberwolves with the 17th overall pick. He barely played in the regular season of his first year there, but did have a respectable 2003 season where he averaged 11.2 points and 6.6 rebounds. His first 2 years with San Antonio were also decent, and his first year there he averaged 8.7 points and 7.7 rebounds on 70 games played in the regular season. In his second season there, he won an NBA championship with the team. The rest of his career saw him traded to the Toronto Raptors in 2006, then to the Indiana Pacers in 2008, before returning to the Raptors in 2009. Those years were rather unremarkable. Again, for a player on this list, he's pretty good, just not as great as he should be, in comparison with his career in Europe. Number 8. Georgios Papagiannis. Giorgio Papagiannis may have the name Giannis, but in terms of his NBA career, he's definitely far from that guy with the Milwaukee Bucks. Though he's known as a superstar in the Greek Basketball League, Papagiannis is nowhere near that status in the US. The young player was only in the league for 2 years, having unmemorable stints with the Sacramento Kings and the Portland Trail Blazers. With the Kings, Georgios was sent many times to the team's D-League affiliate, and with the Blazers, he only played a single game. But just for everyone's information, this dude is known in Greece as a 3-time Greek Basket League champion, a 2-time Greek League All-Star, and a 4-time Greek Cup winner. Number 7. Maciej Lampe. A player from Poland, Maciej Lampe was initially projected to be a top 5 pick in the 2003 NBA draft, but was instead selected 30th overall. Once touted to be a valuable prospect, Lampe would only spend 2 years in the league. He did play well in the 2003 NBA Summer League, but in 2004 he would be traded to the Phoenix Suns, where he became the youngest player ever to play for the Suns at the age of 18. A year later, he was traded again, now to the New Orleans Hornets. A year later, again in 2006, he'd be traded to the Houston Rockets. After his brief NBA career, he resumed playing in Europe, where he'd been named League MVP of Russia's PBL in 2011. As of 2021, he's still an international player and he plays in Poland. Maciej did not have an astounding NBA career, averaging only 3.4 points, 2.2 rebounds, and 0.3 assists per game. Number 6. STOJKO VRANKOVIC. STOJKO is yet another player who was a star in Europe, but a disappointment in the NBA. STOJKO VRANKOVIC spent a total of 5 years in the league, playing for the Boston Celtics from 1990 until 1992, then leaving to play in Greece. He then returned in 1996 and played for the Minnesota Timberwolves, and then for the Los Angeles Clippers, eventually leaving once again in 1999. In his NBA career, the 7'2" center recorded averages of 2.8 points, 3 rebounds, and 0.3 assists per game, while playing 12 minutes per game and shooting 48%. That's a far cry from his career in Greece, where he was a 3-time Greek Cup winner and Greek All-Star Game MVP. Number 5. Yohan Petro. A 7-foot center from Paris, France, Yohan Petro was certainly much more celebrated in his home country than the NBA. Yohan spent 8 years in the NBA with 4 different teams and didn't make much of a mark in any of them. He was drafted 25th overall in the 2005 NBA draft, taken by the Seattle Supersonics. He was a starter for half of the regular season during his rookie year, but only racked up averages of 5.2 points and 4.4 rebounds per game. After Ray Allen left the team in 2007, they entered into a phase of rebuilding. Petro was one of the pieces they chose to make do with, and he was traded to the Denver Nuggets in 2009. He did find more success in the squad as he finally made the postseason with the team. However, his value for them just wasn't long-term, and he signed with the New Jersey Nets, another rebuilding team. He scored the final points of the Nets before their move to Brooklyn later that year. He once again was traded, this time to the Atlanta Hawks, along with multiple other Nets players in exchange for Joe Johnson. Petro left the league in 2013, becoming an international player and balling in China and Europe. Number 4. SASHA VUJACIC. One of the most successful players on this list, SASHA VUJACIC was a 2-time NBA champion and valuable role player for the Los Angeles Lakers. Drafted by the Lakers with the 24th overall pick in the 2004 draft, VUJACIC also set the Lakers' regular season record for three-point field goal percentage, draining close to 44% of his three-point attempts in the 2008 season. In Game 3 of the 2008 NBA Finals against the Boston Celtics, VUJACIC scored 20 points off the bench, helping the Lakers clinch a victory in that game. Though they would go on to lose the series, they won against the Orlando Magic in the 2009 Finals, giving VUJACIC his first championship. In the 2010 Finals, in a rematch against the Celtics, VUJACIC helped the Lakers tie the series by scoring 9 points, leading all bench players. He would drain 2 free throws in Game 7 that would seal the title for the Lakers. Although his career definitely had successes in the NBA, VUJACIC's value was nowhere nearly as great as it was when he played in Turkey and Italy. His career averages in the NBA are only 5.3 points, 1.9 rebounds, and 1.3 assists per game with an average playing time of 15 minutes. How do you guys think European players adjust to the game in the US? Comment your thoughts down below. Number 3. Andrea Bargnani. The Italian big man Andrea Bargnani is definitely the best player on this list, and on paper his stats are actually pretty good. He averaged 14.3 points a game, and in one season he actually averaged an all-star worthy 21.4 points per game. It's just the fact that taking into consideration that he was selected first overall in the 2006 NBA draft and drew comparisons to Dirk Nowitzki, he should have been a lot better. He averaged close to 29 minutes per game for his career, and yet he only managed to average 4.6 boards per game and 1.2 assists per game. His shooting percentage also leaves a lot to be desired. As for a 7-foot-tall player, 44% shooting is just unimpressive to say the least. His three-point percentage is respectable though at around 35%. Needless to say, as a highly touted prospect, he was quite let down. Number 2. FREDERIC WEIS. Let's talk about Frédéric Weiss. The Frenchman who can't be said to be the worst European player to have played in the NBA because he was never able to play a single game in the NBA. After playing for a while in Europe, Weiss was selected 15th overall by the New York Knicks in the 1999 draft, just after they had a trip to the NBA Finals. And let's just say that pick was not wise. Frédéric getting selected by the Knicks pissed off a lot of people in New York, because some guy named Ron Artest could have been chosen. But instead, it was the Chicago Bulls who took him with the next pick. No biggie, right? Weiss would eventually be convinced by his agent to return to his native France, and although he participated in the NBA Summer League, he never actually played in the regular season or returned to the US. Number 1. NIKOLOZ TSKITISHVILI. NIKOLOZ, who is from Georgia, as in the country from Europe, Georgia, was selected 5th overall in the 2002 draft. Did he turn out to be a success? Nope. Otherwise, people in the US would know how to pronounce his last name by now. For 6 seasons that he was an NBA player, he averaged 2.9 points per game, 1.8 rebounds per game, 0.7 assists per game, and 0.2 blocks per game. And by the way, he averaged a field goal percentage of 30%, and he's a 7-footer who played the 4 and the 5. What do you guys first expect when a European player is drafted? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more NBA content.